Hello my friends and friends of your Board and Fire channel. Today, as promised, we present to you the coverage of the second day of the final of FIDE Grand Prix 2022, where Richard Rapport plays the white pieces today, while Dmitry Andreikin plays the black pieces. Rapport started the match with d4. Dmitry replies d5. c4. Rapport choice the queen gambit. Dmitry decline it with the move e6. Knight c3. Rapport selects the queen's knight variation. Here is a crossroads in the match my friends. Here Dmitry had a knight f6 to play normal defense, or move c6 to play semi-Slav defense, accelerated move order. Or bishop e7 move to play the Charusek variation. These are the most common moves in order, and we promise you'll envision separate courses for the unpopular queen gambit, since it's more common in matches than the accepted queen gambit. Now back to the game where Dmitry played here a6, which is called Yanovsky variation, a reply that is not very common, especially at this level of chess. His idea is simply that the black have the ability to push the c and b pawn, to prevent the bishop and knight attack on the queen's wing. He also has the ability to spread the bishop on the queen's diagonal. Pawn captures pawn. Pawn captures pawn. He was supposed to play knight f3 or bishop f4 here, so the shape looks like he's playing coming out of the London system. But Rapport is also outside the known moves, and plays a3. Now there is no match recorded on the database. The two players now have to get creative. Dmitry played h6, bishop c4, knight f6, e3, c5, attacking the middle. Rapport expressed its offensive way with the move bishops e5. Now if Dmitry complete his spread with the move knight c6, the Rapport wins a pawn or weakens the structure of Dmitry's pawns, as we can see. So Dmitry made the best move on the search engine and played bishop e6. Knight e2 is trying to play knight f4, attacking the bishop. Knight c6 threatens the active bishop of Rapport, and the pawn will be weak, and will surely lose the advantage of the bishops. Knight f4 attacking the bishop, as we had previously expected. While watching the match, I expected that the knight Dmitry would trade the bishop, but after the match, after studying the situation, I found the following analysis. Then here is bishop c4 threatening the pawn, and the search engine suggests leaving him, but if he decides to defend him with the move king f7, he loses a pawn by the move rook d7 check fork and win a pawn. But if he defends him with the move king e7, first he blocks the way on his bishop, secondly he will lose two pawns with the moves you see. That is why Dmitry did not take that bishop here and played pawn captures pawn. Rapport responds bishop captures pawn. Knight captures bishop. Queen capturing knight is a nice move. The queen is now in the middle of the board. There is no knight to threaten her, no pawn to expel her. Bishop d6 threatening the knight. g3 of Dmitry traitor, bishop captures knight. Rapport returns g capture bishop. Now he has an open file. Something Dmitry wouldn't be happy with it. Rook c8 to occupy the open file. Rook d1 to increase the pressure on that isolated pawn. Queen a5 now pin the knight as it increases the defense of the threatening pawn. Rook c1. Castling knight captures bishop. Pawn captures knight. Rapport played a nice move bishop h3, threatening the pinned pawn. Now if Dmitry played e5 hits back at the queen, and then moves the rook with the next move, both of the middle pawns will be go, and it's only a matter of time before they both fall. So played here king f7. Castling. Dmitry attempts to counterattack with rook c4, threatening the queen. Bishop e5. Knight e2. Now if Dmitry captures the pawn, Rapport will respond by trading the rook. Thus Dmitry loses his active rook and recovers Rapport with his pawn, threatening the capture of e3, with a check. And we offer you the following analysis to complete the match with a slight advantage of white, although we cannot determine who will be able to win the match. So Dmitry did not capture the pawn and reinforced his active rook with the move rook fc8. Rook captures rook. Rook captures rook. b4 threatens the queen. Queen a4. Now Dmitry threatens bishop b2, to win a pawn and maybe two. So here Rapport plays knight f4, threatening a pawn that I see as his key to victory, forcing Dmitry to trade the bishop for a knight. Queen c6. Now Dmitry threatens a host of threats, as we can see. So Rapport played queen e3, trying to put more pressure on the pawn and prepare for the dangerous move f5. Knight e4 to make a block in front of the queen's attack and to activate the knight. f3. Dmitry didn't run away with his knight but played pretty between move, rook c3. Queen d4, rook c4. Queen e3, rook c3. Queen d4, rook c4. Now Dmitry wants a draw, as happened yesterday. Rapport turned down a tie and played queen e5. Knight d7 threatening the rook. Rapport leaves the rook and performs his attack by the move f5. Here the search engine suggests the move queen b6 check, Dmitry to forcing Rapport to tie by the moves. If he responds by king g2, knight captures rook. Pawn captured, pawn check. King g8. Queen b8 check. King h7, bishop f5 check. g7. Bishop captures, pawn check. King captures bishop. Queen e8 check. King f6. If king captures pawn, he loses his queen on the move. Queen captures, pawn check. So he has to complete the match with king e5. Queen g7 check. King d6. The match ended in a draw by repeated check, but if he played here king h1, which is the preferred choice of the search engine, Rapport responds with the same counterattack, and almost the same moves, to equalize as well. But in the match, Dmitry captured the rook directly. Rapport launches his counterattack, which prepares him with pawn captures, pawn check. King e8. Queen captures pawn. Queen b6 is very late. King captures knight. Rook 1 check, king e7. Here, before we show the stupidest moves of the tournament and perhaps the whole year, we will give you an analysis of how to complete the match to reach a draw. Dmitry here had to play rook c7 threatening the queen, and complete the match with the following moves, and the situation is not clear who will win, and nearly the match will end in a draw. Now we return to the match where the dumbest moves of the tournament were played, which is the sacrifice rook e1 checkmate. It is clear that Dmitry thought that he would give a series of repeated checks, and this is the problem of Dmitry in this final. Unlike throughout his career in the championship, he was daring, playing to win, but since the first match, and in this match also, he was playing for a draw. He was fighting over it when he felt that he will run away from him, and then slacken when he feels that he is in his hands. Even this move, although it is a colossal mistake, it is undoubtedly daring, but he only made it to get a draw and not to win. Now Dmitry tried to complete his plan with a series of repeated checks. Until he made another mistake that no rookie could make, or perhaps wanted to commit suicide with queen f1 check. To resign after the move bishop captures queen, he could have completed the match with the next moves, but he would have lost the match in the end. The last mistake speeded it up not only. In the end, I apologize for the delay in the episode, due to the circumstances of my infection with the damn coronavirus. I hope you will forgive me for any unintended mistake in it, and wait for the coming days.